Hi guys and welcome to DIY Ideas. Today we have a new tutorial here for a cozy blanket without crocheting hooks, without needles. We just have this loop wool here, so you don't need any tools. You just use your fingers. You kind of do like a finger crocheting and you can make this really big blanket from that. And so yeah, I'm going to show you soon what the wool is that I used. It's like 70 by 90 centimeters, this blanket. I could have actually made this bigger, but I like this size actually for what I need. And so I chose, yeah, this size. So it's super cozy, and you can see here the both sides, one with these ridges here and one with these kind of loops that you can see here, more like stitches that go along here. It's super cozy, and how I did this I'm going to show you now. Have fun. Okay, so here is the wool. It's the Alice Puffy fine wool. It's, I think, one of the biggest balls of yarn I've ever seen. It's called ombre batik, and you can here kind of see that it has like a slight color fade, but it's even better if I can kind of pull out something here from the middle. So you can see it even goes lighter in here. I'll see here if I can find the beginning from the inside. That'd be great actually, so that I don't have to use this yarn from the outside. And so what is this? This is a loopy wool, so it has these loops here on the thread, and that's what it's made of, and that's how you actually crochet, finger crochet this wool, and how you use it basically. And it's super easy, and you can make really pretty things. They're super cozy. And I've made other blankets and other scarves out of this, and it turns out really cute, I think. And this is 500 grams, and it's actually really big. Usually it's always 100 grams, but yeah, this one's just really big. This one is 73 meters long. Usually they're just 9. So the other ones I've used so far were always a lot smaller. But the loops actually are a little smaller than the other ones, so it's just slightly different type of wool. And the color here, it's kind of pink, ombre, and you can see, it's 7279. There are some other ombre colors out there of the same brand, like the yellows and browns. It's 100% micropolyester. You can wash it in the washing machine up to 30 degrees Celsius. I'm gonna try here and pull out the inside of the ball. Hopefully I can find the beginning in here. I really prefer working from the inside out, but you can see here more the color fade. So here it's coming out a little looser. I feel like the beginning, aha, there it is. Okay, nice. Somewhere in here should be the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to kind of push it back here. You can see I already pulled out a lot of the yarn, but I actually did find the beginning. And yeah, here's my measuring tape. I'm going to use that later. I'm going to do about 80 centimeters. And yeah, it says here you can do one blanket out of one of these balls. So about 80 centimeters is what we're going to shoot for. And so you look for the beginning here, and then we'll start. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here's the beginning. It wasn't super easy to find. It's just a lot of yarn. So what I'm gonna do here is measure 80 centimeters. And here's 80. Okay, so this is basically how we're gonna start with this, with this width for the blanket. And so this is our first row basically, and this is the point where we're gonna start doing this second row. And so I'm just gonna lay it flat here on the table, kind of, just to sort it a little bit, so that it's easier to get a little bit of an overview of what we're doing. So we have this loop here. I put my finger in it so that I remember which one it is. And so this is the loop. This is the end basically of the first row. So we're gonna take this next loop that's on the line, and we're gonna pull this next loop through the last loop of our first row. Then we have the next one here, and we'll take the next loop and we'll pull it through this one as well. So we're now working backwards from right to left, And the thread that's behind is the loose thread, and the thread that's in front is basically our first row. And so we pull the loop through from the back to the front. So we have 3 here already. And yeah, I just said that you use this wool without any crocheting hooks, but from personal experience, I have to say, I think it's actually faster if you use a crocheting hook. You don't need to, but I'm going to show you what I do. I think it's a little faster maybe, at least for me, because I'm very used to using my crocheting hooks. If you're not as confident or as used to crocheting hooks, so maybe it's faster for you with the fingers, especially with these like slightly smaller loops. I think it's actually faster, for me at least, with the crocheting hook. But as you see, it works just as well with the fingers. And so yeah, this is what we're going here. I'm going to continue doing this the whole length back to the beginning of the thread, the 80 centimeters that we measured earlier, until I'm basically back at this end or beginning, however you want to see it, of the first row. Okay, so I'm going to go pull the loop through the front one. So the back one, and we pull it through the front. Okay, so this is the end of the first row. Nothing much has happened yet, but you can see now how it's basically developing, what's happening here. And you can see how the little loops are pulled through the other ones. And so now we're working backwards from left to right, so the opposite way. So this is our first row here. It's still kind of hard to see the difference between the first row and the thread that we're working with, just because the first 2 rows are still very slim. So what we're doing now, we're working from left to right, and so we push through the first loop here on the left and pull the loop from the back through the one in the front, or as well with the fingers, however you're more comfortable. And both work really well actually, so just choose whatever you're most comfortable with. Just choose whatever you're most comfortable with. So here we'll continue doing this. For me personally, like I said earlier, especially with the smaller loops, I think it's easier with the crocheting hook. But like I said, it's up to you. Have on my hand, I kind of have the thread that we're working with and the front row lined up basically, so it's easy to see which loop goes with which other loop, because it does sometimes happen that you kind of skip one if it's a little more chaotic, and we obviously don't want that. We want to avoid that. Okay, so we poke through, pull the loop, and pull it through the front one. And so that's what's happening here. This is how this pattern is evolving, and you can kind of see now the colors here also, how they change a little bit. And so this is always either from left to right or from right to left, depending on which row we're doing. So always like back and forth. And so here's my first little update. I continued doing a few more rows here, and you can see the kind of the color change here, and you can see the ball here that's on the left that's still left over. It's so much it's so much yarn left. Okay, here you can see the super nice color fade starting to happen. I really think it looks super pretty. Here you can see the color fade. I think it looks super pretty with the light pink and then working all the way up to the like more magenta pinks. I think it's just the colors are really, really nice. So here we have 70 by 90 centimeters actually. But I actually like this size. Also with the ratio basically. And so I'm going to show you now what I do at the last row here, at the finishing row. So this is where we are at right now with the thread. So you can see that this is the last loop, and then here is more of the yarn, is more of the thread. So there is more yarn actually, but I'm actually going to stop now, and I'm going to show you how I do that. So we go back to the other side, not the one where the thread is actually loose, but the one where we started this last row. Exactly, so you can see that there's no thread here, so that's how we start finishing up this last row. So I'm going to use the crocheting hook here. You can use it as well. You can do this as well also without the crocheting hook, but like I said, for me it's just more comfortable with the crocheting hook. So I'm going to take the first loop and I'm going to pull the second one through the first one. And then here we have one of them left. We're going to take the next one and pull it through the one before. Okay, so here comes loop number 4. I'm going to pull it through the one before that, number 3. Okay, loop number 5, we pull through loop number 4. And here, the new one, we pull it through the one on the left. And I'm going to do that for the whole rest of this row. I'm going to show you also how I do it with the crocheting hook. So I always put it that I have it from right to left because I'm right-handed. And so I put the loop on the right through my hook. I put my hook through the loop on the right, and then I pull the next loop through the one on the right. And that's it's easier for me because the loop kind of stays on the hook. So I feel like it's just a little faster for me. So I'm going to do this on the way back, and you can see here the really nice seam that's developing here. And so these are the last 2 of my last row. And so I'm going to pull this last one through here. Okay, and then this is the very last one here that's left. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut the thread here, and then I'm going to cut off the loops also. And then I'll pull it through and I'll hide the last bit of thread, and then we're basically done actually. And so really simple. You don't need much practice to actually be very comfortable doing this. You can see the border here, the seam, and I can show you here at the beginning thread actually what we're going to do at the very end. So what I do here is I just take the last bit of thread and I pull it through some of the stitches, some of the loops. I just pull it here, just to secure it into the scarf. And you don't really see it at all because the wool is so fluffy. You just don't see it. And then here I'm going to do this as well. I'm going to pull the thread through, and I'll cut it, and then just hide the thread, the last bit of thread. And so it's a really simple method to make a really nice blanket really quickly. And I actually really like this color, especially like this color. I think it looks really pretty for a child, maybe for a kid's bedroom, for your couch, for nice spring colors. And yeah, it turned out to be 70 by 90 centimeters. Thank you guys for watching DIY ideas. I hope you liked this video. If you would like to watch more, please visit my channel and subscribe for free. And you'll always be the first one to be informed about new videos. Please share this video with your friends, and see you next time.